having a bit of a rough situation storm-wise right now. Satellite and zoom out so you guys can see what we're dealing with right now. As you can see, the windshield's a little dirty. Sorry about that, guys. But we have no storms right now near us. There's a tornado watch way up in the Nebraska Panhandle into the Nebraskan Sandhills. I'm not too sure. That thing's going to be moving to the Sandhills, so it's going to be pretty tough to intercept. So Kansas once again fails us. Don't think we're gonna get a storm from Kansas today. Services. does it only focus on it? Not get a storm here in southwestern Nebraska. We were in western Kansas, but they've kind of said, hey, yeah, that place, nothing's gonna happen. And it's certainly looking that way. There's some towers up by Max. We just need like another little impulse to come through and try to force storms here. We are almost into southern Nebraska right now. We are north of Oberlin, Kansas. Oberlin? North of there. But as you can see on satellite, it's not looking very stormy at the moment. It was looking really good about 2 hours ago. But then the first short wave left the region. And I'm not sure when this other one might get here. It might be a little just too slow to force thunderstorms here across our target. We're just going to keep going north. The further north we go, the more likely initiation is. But there's a very, very strong cap down in southern Kansas right now. So you're probably not going to get a storm down there. But we were near the Colby, Kansas area trying to, decide. And we finally figured it out where we're going, but it might be just a little too late. So, nevertheless, we're going to keep trucking to the north here. Welcome back, Grifter. Nebraska. That might just have to be our storm. Hopefully that can maintain itself. The cap is thwarting our plans for today, guys, so get northwest of McCook here. We are almost to McCook, Nebraska right now. We're doing good on gas. Still got almost a completely full tank. We filled up about half an hour ago. We've got these little bubbles trying to go right here. They're looking a little flat though for so late in the day. It's already 5:30. Still got a little bit of time here. But this cap is hanging on the southern parts of the target. Not sure why my service just dies right as I cross the Nebraska border for like 5 minutes and then it's fine again. The streaming phone already just went through it, but now my other phone, which is on a different service provider, like it went from 1 bar to 5G. It's like they check if I'm in Nebraska, and they're like, okay, you're in Nebraska, you get service. Alright. Yeah, we can be up to that max Nebraska storm here shortly. We're gonna head towards the Imperial area. Get there about 6:30 Central Daylight Time, but more realistically, closer to 7. But still got some opportunity here. We just need another shortwave to come through and kick stuff up in time. If we can do that before about probably 7 or 8 o'clock, we should be in for a show. Just a little too warm from the mid-levels of the atmosphere right now. welcome in everybody. We're gonna drive around southwestern Nebraska and see what we can find. I still feel that there's some hope, though I don't really trust any storms to produce a tornado anymore. I think we could get a very, very photogenic storm here if one can launch off before sunset. Either way, we can't complain. We had 3 days of tornadoes in a row leading up to today. But today's going to take a miracle for us to get close to a tornado. We might see one from a distance. And it's probably, and if we do see one, it might be not during the day. Is that tornado watch just to our north, about 2 counties north of us, North Platte, out to Sidney, Nebraska, and then up into the southern Black Hills, just south of Interior, South Dakota, out to White River, South Dakota, then down south, Valentine, Tedford, Nebraska, and North Platte once again. That's kind of that square where that risk is in. So it's looking a little capped over there, but that Alliance, Nebraska storm does look fairly interesting right now. They don't have a severe thunderstorm warning for it yet, though. Yeah, things are looking a little cooked at the moment, but this could recover very quickly with another shortwave, a well-timed shortwave coming through here. Had that shortwave come through like an hour later, we'd probably be underneath a strong supercell right now, but it's just a little early. Ran to Walmart. We got a couple new outfits because I've been gone from the house for like 12, 13 days. So I've been gone for a while. Finally got some cleaner clothes because I had the same like 4 outfits I was rotating. So, and I only had time to do laundry once. So I didn't have time to do laundry today, so I just ran to Walmart and grabbed a couple outfits for like 50 bucks and then ran out the door and went north. Yeah, today is looking a little rough for chasing, guys. We will see what we can eke out today. I think we're still got a really good shot here later on. Just not so sold on tornadoes anymore. Especially with this cap. There's a really, really strong warm layer in the atmosphere down south near the Dodge City, Kansas area, which is probably going to prevent storms off the dry line there. We did try to initiate a storm here about an hour ago, but it quickly died. So I think we're just gonna get as far north as we can, maybe northwest, into the area where that mid-level temperature is a little cooler and forcing's a little stronger. And Kansas has just had a bad track record since I started chasing. It's only had a couple of good events, and really nothing in western Kansas. It was all like central or eastern. But these big dryline Kansas days, for whatever reason, just don't seem to work out. Somebody's trying to get around us here. Yeah, it seems like Wanetta might get an attempt there shortly, but all these low-level clouds are starting to disappear. Now, further back west into eastern Colorado, they've been bubbling up again. which may mean that there is another little impulse coming through that may force storms up in a couple hours, because those cumulus have just been bubbling up over. Yeah, like they just have really popped up shortly. There's a little cirrus about to hit near Ray, so we might initiate a storm here very shortly, actually. Usually that cirrus will mean you're getting, usually that cirrus highlights the edge of the impulse and maybe is just out ahead of the impulse. So if that moves out quick enough, we could get a nice supercell here that we're actually on time for, because there's no way we're making it up to that ongoing supercell that is what, north of Oshkosh, Nebraska, or Oshkosh. Never actually heard anybody else say it, so hoping to keep the streak of tornadoes alive. We've had tornadoes 3 days in a row. We had like 2 tornadoes yesterday, 2 the day prior, and then like 4, so about 8 tornadoes, I think. There may have been a third one we had yesterday, but I couldn't tell, so I didn't count it. Or 2 days ago, I mean. But we're pulling up on McCook, Nebraska. McCook sits just on the other side of this little hill here, kind of in this valley. Probably go northwest. I think northwest is the best shot for a storm here. And then tomorrow is a big day in the Midwest, Minnesota, northern Iowa. Tomorrow is a pretty big day, so probably be heading to northern Iowa for tomorrow. A long drive from the Nebraska Panhandle, if that's where we end up. And they've got a moderate risk out for tomorrow. They have a slight risk out for today with 5% tornado risk from like Amarillo, actually probably like near Lubbock, Texas, all the way up to like, how far north is that 5%? Probably into southwestern South Dakota. And there's a separate 2% from those Montana storms. Got this long 5%, and we're only going to initiate a handful of storms in it. It's possible that nobody walks away with a tornado. It would be crazy for such a large dry line. And it's not like it's like a super uncommon setup. It's just not working out for us right now. I do think we're going to go northwest here. Take US Highway 6 northwest towards Imperial, Nebraska. They've had some great storms up there over the years. At least that puts us closer to Julesburg, where it looks like another storm might initiate. So it's probably going to be a late show, whatever we're on. I decided I wanted to start the stream because I was getting bored just driving around. So I wanted to talk to you guys. And now that chat is finally working on my phone. Drive this route every night, says Bald Dude Rules. Yeah, I drove through here a lot. I used to live in eastern Nebraska, and I would come down this route to chase western Kansas a lot of the time. I love McCook. I've had a bunch of great chases around here. It's a great little town. I love all the Casey's gas stations too. I'm a big fan of Casey's, and there's like 3 of them within like a mile. So that's like perfect. Yeah, land of nothing. Yeah, Ash, there's really not much out here. We're getting into the high plains regions where, you know, you really only get trees here in the river valleys and where people plant them. Everywhere else, it's just completely flat. That's why it's so great for chasing, because, you know, you still got roads out here, but it's flat. So I think we're just gonna turn left on the US 34 and US 6 here and take US 6 all the way northwest to Imperial. We got right away. The guy was very interested in my windshield. My windshield's been getting a lot of attention because I got it really destroyed yesterday. But thankfully all the cracks are like out of the way of the camera. So I have that giant crack from Fort Stockton, that giant little hail impact that's like a perfect circle. Got that like what day was that? The 19th? No, that would have been the 22nd, I think, actually. That was from the 22nd. And then got a bunch of other impacts like on the bottom left corner and on the top right corner. And really none of it's too distracting. You know, you can see pretty well through it and it doesn't block the camera. So once we get a little bit of a quiet period here, we'll get everything fixed. Here is the first Casey's. But it looks like pretty much a marathon of chasing. So this dude next to me's got Starlink. Our Starlink is broken. Where's the second Casey's? I know there's two more. Okay, there's the second Casey's up here on the left. I think there's one up here on the right. The last one. So here's the second Casey's up here on the left because McCook has got like 3 of them all lined up on this road. Big time Casey's town. You know what? That might be number 3. I think it's Casey's number 2 though. Let's see. I think number 3 is up here on the right. The citizens of McCook are big fans of their Casey's, and I am too. It's one of my favorite gas stations. Plus, Casey's pizza's pretty good too, so it definitely helps. Wrestle in between here. There's scooters. I swear that other Casey's is up here somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see it. I know there's a third one somewhere. I don't want to cheat though and look it up until we get out of town. May have been on the eastern edge of town. I think it was actually. Yeah, I think it was on the eastern edge of town. Want to see the windshield? All right, grab you guys. So this is all from last night, really. We got this big crack, and then we got that like big impact right there. That's what most people see. Just a perfect circle there, really, of hail damage. And then we got that one in the corner. But the middle's completely clear, so the middle is completely clear. So we'll zoom back in. It is on the east of Sound, Peyton. You were correct. I thought it was out down in here for whatever reason. Yep. So we are gonna go northwest here. We've still got some hope, I think. There's some cirrus starting to eject out over these cumulus clouds to the west here, and this might be a really good might get a really solid attempt here at some thunderstorms northwest of Max, north of Imperial, and especially Julesburg. Julesburg might be where that main supercell of the day initiates. It's going to be a little bit later of a show than chase in the sandhills there. I was looking at that target, but I mean, we chased like southeastern New Mexico yesterday, and I did not really feel like getting up to western Nebraska into the Nebraska Panhandle, but here we are. I really thought we were going to get a storm in northwest Kansas today, but that is not going to be the case at all. Do have to clean off the windshield when we stop. We'll wait till we get on a storm, or we stop to wait for a storm. I forgot to update the Twitch stream name. Let me do that real quick. Oh, we got a one-lane road here. Since when? I guess it's been a while since I've been here, so I don't remember this being one lane last time I was here. It's okay, it gives me time to chat with you guys. And probably show the windshield again, because I bet it was a little blurry there. Tornado hunting. Perfect. Little cracks that go up and lead into the other things. So we're trying to get. I didn't want to take a long way around because I storm. Looking a little bit better to the south too. I still want to get north. Still would like to get north here. Why is the connection slow? Maybe it was just overheating. It likes to overheat and fall apart. What's that? Is this another one lane? Have to keep this in mind for later in the season. I wonder when they're supposed to be done with this stuff. Definitely going to make it a little more challenging to chase. Thankfully these aren't too long. Like sometimes you can get those one lane roads that are like 10 miles long, and those ones are a pain. They have those a lot in southwest Nebraska too, I've noticed. Alright. Looks like south is trying to bubble up a little bit. lose service. I still don't have my satellite dish. My Starlink connection is still cooked. And I'll need to get a new one here. Yeah, I think what we're gonna try and do is just go northwest of Palisade, Nebraska, and then go north. We can go north up to Hayes Center, Wallace, Sutherland. To get northwest because I feel like once that cirrus starts to breach in our warm sector, we might get a shot at storms here. Southwest Kansas looks pretty capped. Up in the Nebraska Panhandle looks pretty high-based right now. Seeing some pictures of it pop through. High-based hailer at the moment, but that thing's just going to rocket through the sandhills and it's going to be tough to keep up. I think what we're going to do, man, should we have gone to North Platte to get up to Tedford? No, I think we're doing okay right now. Yeah, one concern that going west is going to do for us is it's going to continually pull us out of tomorrow's target. I'm sure a lot of people are backing off now to get ready for tomorrow. Don't want to do that yet. We're going to head towards the Interstate 80 area here. They're around 7 o'clock. What time is it? Zulu time. 22:49. So still we have a couple hours of sunlight left. Just going to have to make the most of today. LBF is completely capped. I just saw that come through the they did 3 soundings. Yeah, North Platte is completely stable right now. A little bit of weirdness going on below, but you're not going to get a storm east of North Platte. Dodge City's capped, but not as bad, but that boundary layer is going to collapse here, so you're probably not going to get a storm down there. What about Rapid City? Because Rapid City launched a weather balloon as well. But, you know, Rapid City doesn't look quite as bad. Probably going to get the supercell up there. It's just the wind profile is a little strange. Thermodynamically, it doesn't look as bad. It's definitely a little bit shallow moisture, but it's not uncommon up there. Yeah, so there's that stable layer near North Platte. So you're going straight north is just going to take us into an environment that really can't support supercells. So we really have to go northwest, where the cap is just seems to be a little weaker. If we initiate near Grant, Nebraska. That's the thing though, is like those initiation attempts are going to move very quickly towards North Platte, so they're going to, if they blow up, they're going to have to blow up and get their act together very quickly. Hitchcock County, Nebraska. Your tornado environment is probably just insanely narrow. It might not even exist. Like, we're under capped, probably stable air, and then yeah, kind of east of Hyannis, east of Arthur, that's probably stable air. Just looking at satellite, you can see there's some wavy fishbone looking clouds. Usually a sign of stable air. They did initiate something down by Lubbock. A couple little. And the dry line is just super fickle. It also doesn't help that a lot of these places aren't launching weather balloons anymore due to the government cuts. It can make it a little tougher. Thankfully, they can still launch emergency stuff, but you know, from a chasing perspective too, you're not really seeing what you need to see in the morning of an event. Now we're literally going to follow this guy. Take US 6. Yeah, the eastern edge of that tornado watch reminds me of how it looked in New Mexico last night. On the eastern edge of that tornado watch, where you had those really stable air mass. Moist but very stable. Apart basically where we were driving, where we're driving right now. We've got, it looks like a couple healthier attempts back to the might be our last boat here. So the sun's not behind these initiation attempts. But I guess worst case scenario, we do get an early start for tomorrow. source of hope for now. There is a tower trying to initiate south of us, but it's getting shredded, very tilted. To Imperial and hope we get a storm near Julesburg, Colorado, and Big Springs, Nebraska. If we can get a storm up there, got some hope at least. North of North Platte looks crazy stable though. Nebraska. Some attempts there, just not very good ones. Narrow tower trying to initiate. Just not wide enough, not enough convergence today. Cap is eating our storms alive. Not even, I mean they're not really gonna become alive, but the story is to never target Kansas. That's what we've learned. That is the biggest thing we can learn. Kansas is going to bust, so do not go there. Go north. I'm thinking we've got to go north instead of northwest here, because everything north is falling apart now. Alright, sweet. It just doesn't seem like there's going to be anything. Wonder if those low clouds earlier in the day stuck around in Kansas for just a little too long. Another hour of peak heating and it's probably a storm down there again. Say is over. them to really pull down those tornado probabilities when they update the outlook. Let's get a photo of how bad this bust was, though. Fact of life. Very unfortunate fact of life. Yeah, these things are just getting shredded by the cap. Like, that was double the size last time I saw it. Yeah, these guys are getting shredded by that warm air. Grab a shot real quick to remember how great this thing is. It's not super hot out. With the cat bus today. because I don't want to be driving for Tedford's going to be like, what, 2 hours away? Yeah, Tedford's about 2 hours away. We would be getting there literally 3 minutes before sunset. And the storm's probably going to be moved. It's going to be north of Tedford. Northeast at 35. Yeah, so it's just going to be just probably northwest of Tedford somewhere. Did get a couple updrafts to initiate further south. But these guys are racing north. Did issue a tornado warning for it. Well, what do we do? Do we go? We're gonna go. You know what? Why not? We're storm chasers. Let's go up to Tedford. Not gonna expect anything much, guys, and it's gonna be a 2-hour drive up. But there's a tornado warning on it. So we're gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy the long journey north. Save some time had we just gone north from McCook. But like that air is super stable near McCook, and that's just gonna be flooding into that storm. We're gonna go north anyway though, because it still takes us to the interstate, which we're probably gonna have to use to chase tomorrow anyway, so another charger here. Another charger. right turning, so all these other updrafts going in. And if there was a road up from Paxton to Sutherland, we'd be like Paxton up to like Highway 2, we'd be set. But you got the Ogallala way up, and then you got the North Platte way up. Got a heck of a drive to tomorrow's target. This might be the one town in Nebraska that I've never been through before. I don't think I've ever been through Hayes Center, Nebraska. I feel like I've been through all the other ones though. Because I know I've been through Palisade, Hamlet, Oneida. Been up through Wallace, I know that too. Literally the only spot I haven't been, I guess. Yeah, I've been on every road in the Nebraska Panhandle, Prairie Highway. Been through Orleans. heading towards Mullen or Tedford. I'm not quite sure which. Would like to see a storm today. Sure that that storm can even support a tornado anymore. Stable up there. 70 over 60. Feeding in that storm is probably not going to get it done. You're going to need like 75, 60, which is I just have a hard time. Let's see what this discussion says. he's got a tornado on stream. Alright, well, we're gonna get up there. We're running late though. That's what I get for trusting Kansas today. That's what I get for trusting Kansas. Got to be careful. There is a tornado on the ground right now. To decide which way we're going. We'll be there shortly. We'll be there right around sunset, guys. If my car would behave. Yeah, so they'll set, the sun will that storm near Arthur blows up, it does its own thing. What is going on here? Why am I not getting any signal? Away from it, and I've got no faith that it survives that long. The tornado's gone, but the supercell, I'm just not sure, survives. Hopefully one goes up south, but I'm crashing out right now. How am I still an hour 45 away? Service now. Just gonna race up to this tornadic storm. Okay, we're gonna get west of Hyannis and then we're gonna go north. We made it, maybe in time, maybe not. The biggest tornado has already lifted. Got a tornado warning, so we're looking at the storms are gonna do some weird stuff, so I'm not expecting them to move super fast. They should all be kind of pulling themselves towards each other here. So we've got a mile here, and then we gotta go north. Hopefully the Hyannis gas station's still functional. I think get a tornado on us. We were down in northern Kansas when this storm formed in northeastern Colorado. Somebody get pulled over? No, that's just a fire truck. Ambulance. Actually. That's not good. They're going to be going around us. That's pretty certain here. Come on, semi. Come on, semi. Come on, semi. That's not good. There's an ambulance coming. We can't get around it. Watch out, man. Come on. We gotta get out of the way for this ambulance. Yo, he's definitely coming up this way, though. They went straight past. They went straight past this road. That's not good. That's further back in the sandhills. That's going to be tough to get to. Alright guys, what can we find here? I think that storm north of us is going to try once it fully gets its act together here. We've just got to get up there to meet it. together. We'll see what happens once this merger fully consolidates here. You guys not see anything? Why is it so dark? I was about to say, like, can't believe you guys couldn't see anything. We still probably got about 20 minutes till sunset here. Are you kidding? Why are we going? You can't be going this slow on a highway. What are we doing? Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. The only place you're going to see it's from right here. Literally straight up the road. Definitely not the most classic supercell. Up in front of us, we know that. Like once this merger completes, there should be another large tornado, given that surface temperatures and everything are okay. Maybe a funnel or something right there. think that was just a weak little funnel that just roped out there. This is looking stable. Lowering off east. Yeah, that back here is looking stable. There's definite lowering off east. Is that for that? I think that new hook is trying to drop to the east. Yeah, because this isn't it. This is not going to be it. It's going to be that thing east. Because this is just all stable. This is not impressive at all. I think we're going to U-turn here. Big hail here. That's about it. Are you kidding me? We came all the way up here. For an elevated dude. Yeah, I think it's time to go go south and go east. That forming on the back side there. I think that Walcott East is where we're looking. Are definitely lowerings off east, guys. I'm thinking that I think it just jumped. That's what it looks like to me. Seems like the base just jumped southeast. Once we get east. I got a feeling that this guy's gonna spin up really quickly though. Man, I hate the road network up here. I mean, is it even smart? guess. I mean, it should be. Which way is it moving? It should turn east here, I think, guys. I think we just got to do that long reposition that we've been doing. There should be a view north, but I think the longer term view is going to be east. Tornado reported. Cloud 625, tornado 713. Hyannis, 4 minutes. Gonna go along too. Hope this goes east. Oh, I'm so annoyed with how today's gone. Tornado by about 10 minutes. And then we got to get through Hyannis, but then once we get east, I want to see. I'm kidding, it's moving way more north than I would have expected. Still not quite there yet. Not quite. Ready to go. I won't have streaming up for it, but we're gonna get east to Hyannis and then just throw the drone up and pray we see something. That last radar scan. Here it goes. It's about to try. Oh. Tornado reported at 7:29. Come on. We gotta report a tornado, guys. Let's go. Come on. These people love to go slow. Come on, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, Nebraska. Rolling into town like it's speed limit's not 10 miles per hour higher. The speed limit's still 50. Come on, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to see a tornado today. But for that to happen, we have to be behind competent, fast drivers. I swear. There's no train running in this condition, man. Come on. Let's go. Wait, what? All right. All right, man. Nice one. Let's go. We don't have time for this. They might not even know that it's been reported yet. It was reported 2 minutes ago. Yeah, I don't think they know. I don't think they know there's a tornado on the ground right now. There's no way they know. We're going 10 under. There's no way that they know. Seriously, guys, gonna need us to drive a respectable speed here. Legitimate. Get like 3 miles up the road and we're going to launch the drone. You can still see under the base. beeping. Oh my goodness. Seriously. What the heck? What a horrible day. Turn off. Just I get it, you're low battery, just turn off. I don't know why you need to beep for 5 minutes, man. And it's like all the way in the back. I gotta pull off. This is, man. This is, just turn off if you're low battery. I don't understand why you have to beep for 20 minutes. Okay, thank goodness. was lit so bad that I don't even know how to react to how bad the chase was for us today. I'm tired, frustrated. I feel like an idiot for not choosing Nebraska. Just thought it was going to be too stable with all that cloud cover. The worst is I could have made it in time too, but I just picked out Kansas and I stuck with Kansas. By about 3 o'clock it was pretty clear and I could have made it, but I just didn't. Should have watched that shortwave better. Need to pay better attention to disturbances aloft. Had I not stopped for steak, or had I not had I taken a different route to go northwest, we probably would have seen at least a good tornado instead of just one from a million miles away. Just a frustrating day, but can't have all good days. Wish I could bat 1,000, but never chase Kansas. That is the lesson here. Never trust Kansas over Nebraska. Never trust Kansas over anything, because it's gonna let you down. But I gotta fill up with gas, and I'm gonna call it here. We're just gonna get in position for tomorrow. I'm not interested in chasing this through the sand hills. This is gonna be it for me. I think this gas station closes really early for some reason, so we're just gonna, maybe we'll go in and get some food if they're still open, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this here, guys. Fortunately, couldn't get us anywhere to see anything. Kansas completely busted, Texas busted. I didn't think Texas was gonna go today, but I certainly didn't think Nebraska was gonna be the main target. I thought they'd maybe get 1 or 2 good tornadoes and then it'd go elevated. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. We're gonna head east or south for tomorrow. We're gonna look at everything, and that's gonna be it for me. I will see you guys next time. So, see ya.